Hello, this is Michael Simmons.
And this is Glenda Smith, and welcome to
Soaring High with So Kids SOAR. This is a podcast to discuss So Kids SOAR, how they've assisted with the community, and how they continue to help individuals to strive, own, achieve, and realize their dreams.
Thank you so much, Michael. And just for a refresher, yes, our mission is to help youth with disabilities, both physical and developmental, strive, own, achieve, and realize their potential through our innovative programming. And we do this through 3 different programs: our adaptive clinics, our holiday program, and our vocational building program, which Michael is a graduate of. And today we have 2 of our biggest supporters in the house. We have Jason Daniel and Scott Tucker from Panda Exteriors, and Carl and Mandy Alzner from the Alzner Foundation. And the first 2 episodes, we kind of took a dive into talking with parents and participants and how they benefit from the program. So today we wanted to focus on some of our community supporters and ask them why they want to be involved with So Kids SOAR, but also what it means to support our mission.
All right, so starting with the Alzner Foundation, can you tell us a bit about how you came up with the foundation and a bit about what you guys do?
Sure, absolutely. Go ahead, Mandy.
You want me to? Okay. So, I guess as lots of people know, Carl played hockey professionally, but youth sports were big for both of us growing up. I think if I think back to my childhood, most of my most fond memories were from tournaments, playing sports, being part of a team. So it became like a passion project for us to make sure that all kids had access to sports, no matter really where they came from or their abilities. So it's sort of something that we're working on, and I guess, I don't know.
It's tough. I mean, we've always been tried to be as involved as possible, and I think the Washington Capitals organization has done an unbelievable job of getting their players involved in the community and give us lots of opportunities too. And then each player can kind of pick how much they want to do and how little they want to do, and you obviously hope that they do more. And we found it to be a really fulfilling thing to do, to get involved and see where our time can be of most use. And then knowing that we wanted to do a little bit of something on our own after, and then trying to figure out exactly how to do it was a challenge. And we're still trying to figure it out. But like Mandy said, so many fond memories from sports. I think that they can forge some incredible bonds with people, and you can have some unbelievable skills that can come from it, resilience, problem solving. And so going through it now with our kids, realizing the access to it is pretty tough. We wanted to make it our mission to have that access be a little bit easier for people, especially in this area, since it's given us so much. So that's kind of how it all started. We're still working on things, Glenda, as you know. We're trying to work out some of the kinks, but overall it's been a pretty fun journey the past 2 years now.
Yeah, we're just a baby.
Just a baby.
We're just getting started, but we have big goals.
Only the beginning, yeah. But you guys have already impacted, I think, so many lives in the organizations just in 2 years. So I guess, Michael, you can ask them the next question, but down the road.
So what do you hope that the Alzner Foundation will help change in or about the world?
That's a great question.
Yeah. If we can have a world impact, then we'd be pretty fired up. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be amazing? I really want to make like a difference where, maybe 10, 15 years down the line, we meet some kids that were impacted directly from the Alzner Foundation. Maybe they got to play soccer, or maybe they got to play a sport that they hadn't tried before. Maybe they got to go to college and play that sport, or they could work some like in a different capacity. Maybe they're coaching, something like that. So introducing more kids to athletics just across the board, not necessarily always playing, but in other avenues as well. And I really look forward to the day where we can maybe meet a kid that was impacted, even if it's just one. I think that'll mean a lot.
Yeah, and on another side too, and kind of what happened with us is I got to do an event with So Kids SOAR when I first got to the Caps, and that was impactful for me, and I had access to sports, so coming at it from a different line is it made such an impact on me that we wanted to go down this line and start a foundation and try and give back that way. So if we can do it with either one of those paths, I think that would be the impact that we're trying to make.
Hey. And so what are your first memories around youth sports and other activities you've played, and what feelings did it bring to you?
Well, my first memory of youth sports, it's funny looking back on it now, but at the time it wasn't funny. I can remember vividly standing on the ice at my first hockey practice, crying until finally I had worked up enough courage to stack a bunch of hockey pucks on top of each other and take a slap shot and watch them all go flying all over the place. And it was kind of like I had all the emotions, right? I was nervous, I was scared, I was sad, and then I was happy and excited. And so I kind of went through the whole gamut of it. And it's funny, just recently, actually, a couple days ago, had a similar thing with our son. He was going on the ice for some hockey, and he got in there, was really excited, and then some people were telling him that it was a tryout, and then he got scared and sad. And then one of his buddies actually came by that he had played with the season before, and kind of gave him a hug and told him it was okay, and explained to him one of his times being sad on the ice. And so he ended up completely getting out of it, going on the ice, having a good time. But it's fun, you go through so many different emotions, and I can still remember to that day how I felt on the ice. So it was very impactful for me, and I've had a lot of other good ones throughout the years, but that was my earliest memory of playing sports. Andy's got some good ones too.
Well, for me, I played soccer mostly as my community sport. I also played basketball and volleyball through school, but my parents were my coaches, which was really exciting for me. And I also moved a lot. My parents were divorced, so I lived in a different community than I went to school. So soccer gave me an opportunity to create like a pod of friends outside of school, a sense of community, which I really loved. Sleepaway tournaments were my favorite, like running through the hallways of the hotels, like terrorizing everybody else who's trying to sleep, but we're having the best time of our lives. I remember those trips so fondly. And Carl's exactly right. Kids learn, well, they go through a lot of emotions. So we're learning successes, but we're also learning failures and how to overcome. And it's a very low stakes way for kids to fail and try again. Whereas, like, if we're failing a math test, that feels a little bit more, higher stakes. But if you lose a soccer game and you have another one next Saturday, that's okay, and we'll try again. And I think sports, are the perfect opportunity to teach life lessons in a really like low stakes sort of environment. And I loved every second of being on a team. That was my favorite part of growing up playing sports, is just the team. I didn't play any solo sports. I wasn't like a golfer or a tennis player or anything. I was there to socialize and to be part of the team.
Well, I think that's really important, because going back just to our mission and kind of what you guys are doing with the Alzner Foundation too, building that confidence and that social engagement, and just providing a sense of camaraderie. That's why I think youth sports, especially team sports, is so important. And I love that you touched on, like, your best memory wasn't just like happiness and smiles all day.
Right.
And I think that's important to, like, just for our listeners and especially our participants to recognize that some of your best memories might be a growth moment. It's not just like, oh, it was so thrilling to get on the ice and I hit every puck that came my way, but more so the fact that you are really evolving as a person. So I think we tried to do that in our programming, especially with you, Michael, just like seeing where you've come from, not knowing how to do how to work any of the podcasting equipment to now you're producing this show. It's pretty incredible. And yeah, so I really love that you shared that.
So what has been one of your favorite So Kids SOAR memories?
Ooh, I have a good one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So we hosted an event last year. It's called Swing Into Summer. We're going to do it again this year. But my favorite So Kids SOAR memory was we had some kids come out to run the bases we called it the fourth inning stretch. And they all got to come out. They ran around the bases with the players and some of our kids. And it was so exciting. Big smiles. It was the best. That's my favorite So Kids SOAR memory. It was so fun.
Yeah, it was tons of fun. I agree. Playing DJ Otzi in the background, everyone having a good time. It was fun. And then for me, I have another one too. And it goes back to what I said earlier. The first time getting to do anything with So Kids SOAR was on the ice at the time it was called Kettler, now MedStar, and getting to push some kids around in sleds and kind of just chat. And one of the cool things about being on the ice, if you haven't skated before, it's almost like that. It's almost like freedom. If you've ever ridden a motorcycle or a moped or something like that, right? Just that wind in your face and having the cool air in your face as you're buzzing around on a sled, or if you can skate on skates. And there was a ton of smiles on both ends. People that were helping and people that were participating. So that to me was a bedrock moment.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I mean, I think the ice hockey clinic, is one of our most popular clinics.
Nice.
It's actually one of the longest ones we've had. I think we've had it every year since 2010.
Okay.
Outside of COVID. But yeah, thank you for supporting us there.
Yeah.
This is actually a nice little transition to Panda Exteriors, one of our biggest supporters for the past, I want to say 5 or 6 years, our presenting sponsor, because you guys have helped sponsor that clinic for the past 3 years. So, same question to you before we dig a little more into what Panda Exteriors is. Do you guys have a So Kids SOAR experience or memory that sticks out to you that you'd like to share?
Yeah, for sure. Unfortunately, with the clinics or the adaptive clinics with the ice hockey, we weren't able, just timing-wise, me and Scott weren't able to be there. So the first real experience was last year's golf tournament when we had the kids come out, and it was just amazing to see the parents as well as the kids running around the golf course and doing putt-putt with Clinton Portis, and just their smiles on their face, like they're coming up to us trying to get autographs like we're somebody, and we're like we're just random people.
I love that.
But the smile on the parents' faces as well, how proud they were for the kids doing the putt-putt, was it made sense. It made everything well worth all those 5 years of and it showed me everything that you sacrifice and do for them. It was great.
Yeah, it's definitely, that was a good moment. I had shown up late because I was coming with my dad, and my dad and I were talking, and my navigation went off, and I was showing up super late, and they're like, "Where are you?" And I'm like jumping out and running up, and they're like, "Oh, we got to get photos," and I'm like, "With me?" I'm like, "Oh, okay," so they wanted us to sign their hats and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, it was a kind of a defining celebrity moment for us. But the clinic, the hockey clinic, I'm not an ice guy. I lived in Germany. I was young, and we used to ice skate some, but I'm not a skater. I'm pretty scary on the ice. But Dan Atias always seems to be front and center. He's he still plays a lot of recreational leagues and stuff. And at one point he was playing in 3 leagues, and I was like, maybe time to hang out. But he loves going out there, and he's always front of the photos, and just seeing that from our perspective. And we've actually been working with So Kids SOAR before I even knew Glenda. Jason's been supporting her for years. And so kind of the transition for me, it's then we owned the business, and then we were like, hey, we want to get involved. And it was just well, this just makes sense. And just kept building and growing growing to where we are now, and some of the stuff we're doing is pretty awesome. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dan is, and I would just shout out to him again. He is one of, I don't know what his title is.
So now he's kind of he's a regional training manager, but he's still out in the field working too.
Yeah, he's made it.
He's OG Panda. He's been there for
Yeah. He's been there at the ice hockey clinic at least the last 2 years, maybe 3 years. 3 years?
Yeah, every year.
Yeah,
every year.
And he loves, just like you said, pushing the kids around, especially the paraplegic kids that can't get up and skate on the sleds.
I mean, he's went out and made his own jersey for the clinic.
Yeah.
He has his own Panda jersey for the clinic that he went out and designed and made.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Well, now we can totally segue into what Panda Exteriors is. Please tell us more about, how you founded it, why in the industry you're in. Yeah.
Yep. I can take that one. That's been a. So how much time do we have? I mean, that's a very long story. If we go back, I started in this industry about 25 years ago. But, you know, times changed through our other partner, Shane, who's not with us today. I met Shane first, met Jason. We've been friends for about 15 years at this point. Shane and I ended up crossing paths working at the same company together, which is a roofing company. I broke away from them. I started working for another one. Jason was in the auto business, and this was all coming into COVID time. Companies were going on furlough. Companies were shutting down. The auto industry was taking a big hit. And it was just kind of like we had this time. And I've always been an entrepreneur. And most of our friends are, Jason and Shane included. And I called them up, and I was like, hey, I've got an idea. It's going to throw our hat in the ring one more time, and let's see if we can get something to go. We've had some failed endeavors, learning experiences. And so called them together and was just like, hey, this is what we're going to do. Jason and Shane were like, well, let's do it. Started going through the process. I don't want to bore everybody with the details, but there's a lot of ups and downs. We ended up becoming a largest subcontractor for Tesla's solar roof tile division, and we just started traveling the country. All the way up to New Hampshire, all the way out to Chicago, Illinois. And this was all within 12 months of us being in business. Quite frankly, doing something maybe we shouldn't have been doing, but we were just like, we're not going to say no. And it just kept snowballing. And
I was in the background being like, you sure? Chicago?
Yeah, we did. And there was some very touchy moments, and it was kind of like Jason. And if you know Jason, he's typically not the one that's going to put the brakes on. He's normally the guy like, let's go. And he sat me and Shane down, and he was like, we can't do this. And we're like, no, yeah, we can't do it. But yeah, we're going. He's like, you're not listening. He's like, we're not going to Chicago. And that was a very pivotal moment. And it was kind of a clash of heads between us and Tesla, which you wouldn't think that we would step into that fight. But we did, and for what it's worth, in our little world, we won that battle. And so we overcame that, and Tesla really kind of became the funding operation for us to grow because of the way that business was running. We pivoted into the roofing side, so we're in what we consider the insurance restoration side of the roofing business. That's one of our verticals, but we also do retail, residential, commercial, so we keep growing these different divisions just to diversify. But very quickly, Inc. 5000, fastest growing construction company in the country, third fastest growing company in Maryland. And we
50th in the country.
50th in the country overall. So a lot of great things, but I mean, now we just opened up an office in Tampa, and our furthest northern office, we have one up in Massachusetts. So we're really kind of taking over the Eastern Seaboard, getting ready to open up another office in Jersey. So the expansion's been pretty amazing. We're up to close to 200 employees at this point. Jason was actually in our Delaware office yesterday, came up from there. Shane's in our Jersey office. I'm at headquarters. So, divide and conquer. A lot of people say, hey, you should do business with friends. And I can tell you that, sometimes there's difficulties, but if you understand business, problems are everywhere. And we've got a pretty good dynamic at solving those problems and growing from that.
And I think on top of it, we made a promise to each other as friends that we don't let anything fester. And with the three of us, we kind of address it right away, and we keep an open mind to learn. And to Scott's credit, another big thing with our success was culture, right? We've been pushing culture this whole time. A lot of these construction companies, they don't worry about their employees at all. They don't care, right? A lot of them are 1099, where we were like, hey, these young kids are making so much money, they have no idea what taxes are. They think that's their money. Yeah. So we moved everyone to W-2 employees. We offer them health care. We offer them 401ks. We give them real vacation time. We
and they all go to the
Mexico.
Yeah, and so
once a year we do our holiday party in Mexico, but it's for them and their significant others. So last year we had about 190 people that was in Mexico having a blast, right? We try to build that community. Once a year we do Big Panda Weekend, where we have our golf charity tournament, which my cousin started with LLS, but we brought So Kids SOAR in as well, and have like Clinton Portis and some other football players come out, where we have the kids come out, Marshall Faulk comes out, and then we'll do a barbecue the next day for the families and their kids. So we try to give back to them and show them the community we grew with. and try to enforce them and that culture onto them as well.
But I mean, it sounds like a team. Sounds like a sports team, right?
I was gonna
right.
say, yeah.
You say the sports story, and I've I grew up in it too, so I immediately have all these stories in sports and team environment, and it can be really hard to hold those things together, especially as you're expanding. It's like, how do you take those core values, these culture values, and then you move them out? Because the further things get away, if we're not instilling those things in the people right next to us, then it's not going to make its way down. It's kind of like the telephone game. It's like it just gets a little more watered down as it goes. So I think at the top, you really have to work hard to hold yourself to those same standards. You can't just pass it off to everyone else, because if you're not living it, they're not going to live it with you.
Totally. It's like connecting it back to everything. You got to teach that at a young age, like the importance of team, of family, of community.
We've been lucky to have good business advisors where they're like, you cannot focus on just the bottom line, right?
Yeah,
this
right.
really impacts, the culture impacts your bottom line if you don't really think about it, right? And for certain points when we were growing as quickly as we did, we could see it slip away. And if you let it go, then it's just gone. It's so hard to bring back. And we were fortunate enough to be like, all right, we're seeing the slip. We need to adjust. We need to have these conversations with our directors and bring that back to what our core focus of this company is the culture, right? That's the most important part.
Totally.
All right, so next, can you tell us why you feel that community is important?
Sure. Yeah, so, my dad was in the military. So my dad was in the Air Force. My mom was an Army and Air Force civil servant. I grew up on military bases. I lived in Germany. That whole world is community, right? It's completely supportive. And, so I grew up in a time and at a place where, I'm 6 years old. It's like, bye, Mom, and I'm walking to practice through the woods onto the baseball field, and you didn't have to worry about those things, because on every step, it's like, this person, they see Scott walking to practice, you're at practice, you're with your friends. So I grew up like that, and I kind of thrive and feed off of it. And for me personally, in the business world, getting into, when I was working at the other roofing company, they were very big on culture, and they were big supporters of another not-for-profit. It was called Alex's Lemonade Stand, which was really cool. And they've been around for a while. And just listening to some of those stories and then looking at what this company was doing and giving to them, that really impacted me. I was like, there's going to come a point, I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm going to be in the driver's seat somewhere, and I'm going to make sure that we're doing things to give back. So I was raised that way. I grew up that way. I've seen it in business, and I just knew for myself, I was like, if we do this, and we were talking about that on day one. It wasn't an afterthought. It wasn't like, hey, we've been really successful, now let's do this. It was like, no, we're going to intertwine this into our fabric now. And we do a lot of other things with the Napkin Group, and we get involved in some women's groups and some things like that as well. Another big initiative for us, I've always wanted to do something with veterans, because of our background. And so it was really hard, though. I was just like, hey, I want to put a free roof on a disabled veteran's home. It took me years to finally get to the right place to do that, because anyone you would talk to, they were like, well, you can just give the money to us and then we'll do this or that. And I was like, I want to feel it. Like, I want to meet these people. I want my team to drive the nails into the roof. So that took some time. We finally got that. We put our first veterans roof on last year. We're going to do another one this year. And we're actually talking with So Kids SOAR about the Vietnam wall washing. We got to do that. I got to meet Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs, and this was all by accident. I didn't know that was being set up. We were like going to clean the wall. He's like, "Oh, well, you know Mike Rowe?" I was like, "Yeah, I love that guy." And he was like, "Well, he's actually," and so he did this show called Stand for Something, which it kind of went out to all the theaters, and when they do it for like one day. It was cool. So I had the team out there, and then Mike Rowe was out there, and he was filming, going through this whole process. And I was like, wow, this is just really awesome. And so we're going back, and now that's going to be a part. We have like 15 people on our team that are going to go back and do it. And if you haven't gone and done that and really listened to the stories and walk through that and actually pay attention, I mean, it can get me pretty emotional thinking about it and my family and sacrifices that they've made. So I think about those things. I just, it has to be a part of what we're doing. And again, Jason was doing these kinds of things personally himself, just because how important it is to him. It just made sense.
Yeah, with me, being first generation, community was everything, right? When my parents came from India, the community was everything that brought them here. So if you see me now, I'm related to everybody in the city. If you're brown, I'm related to you, one way or another. And then after they passed, that community came around me and they held me up. And just seeing that givingness with no want is something that was always instilled in me. And whether I have the money or not, that's something that is always on the forefront. Business is great. Everything else is great in the world. But no matter what, I'm so blessed just to be here and to be in front of you guys here. So for me to give anything I have to anybody else, it'll always work out. And to put a smile on someone else's face, that makes everything that you do worth it.
Totally.
And to Mandy and Carl too, what does community mean to you, or why is it so important?
Well, this particular community means a lot to us, the DC area. They were so supportive of Carl's career, and we loved it here, and it was our home for a really long time. And when we left, we missed it a lot. So to come back and be able to use whatever platform we have, I mean, it's a different size given like who you're talking to. Some people are bigger hockey fans than others. To be able to take that impact and try and make a difference on this community that made a difference on our lives, really, it feels like such a gift, like such a privilege.
Yeah, and I also think that you just never know when you're going to need your community, right? Like things could be going great one month, and then next month something happens, and all of a sudden you need to rely on somebody. And so I think the more that you can build it up to it's at a place where everybody that's the norm, where it's like you just help people. That's just the way it should be. And so that's at least the way that we look at it, right? It's like let's give what we can. Especially time, like you said, actually putting the nails in the roof, right? Like
that's big.
Yeah, giving money is one thing, but actually going out on the ground and being a part of it is, I think, sets a better example. So yeah, it's always investing in the community so that at some point, if you ever need it or someone may need it, it's just ingrained in us all.
And you all are parents, so I also think, they always say it takes a village to raise children, so there's that community aspect here, and I feel like when the first 2 episodes we talked with a parent and her participant and another participant, and just speaking with them about the community they need. I think it's already hard enough being a parent, but should your child have other challenges, I've seen like they've really come together to support one another, to commiserate together. It's actually something we just started. We were on a call last night, but we started this parent Zoom group just for our parents so that they can talk through the processes of like even funding or like SSI and all of those benefits. It's like a whole nother hurdle, and I mean, I thankfully don't have to go down that path, hopefully ever, but it's a lot. Yeah, and then speaking of being parents, we usually do like a parent pause moment. So Michael's gonna ask the next question, and then
All right, so as a parent, how do you make your child or children feel special every day?
Wow.
Where do you want to go?
Yeah, you guys want to take that one?
Okay, so Carl and I heard this thing. I don't even remember where we had originally heard it, but we implemented it in our life immediately, and it's that if you can give your kids 3 minutes of your undivided attention every morning and every night, they'll feel special. So every day we try to make sure that, especially at bedtime when we're tucking them in, that we're spending the time with just them, asking about their day. It's kind of become a bit of a tradition. They ask us what our day was like, and then even though we already know, especially if we spent the whole day together, we're saying the same thing. But they want to know what we did. We want to know what they did. And a lot of times, especially with our older daughter, she's 10 now, I find that in those moments before she goes to bed, we're hearing a lot of stories that she didn't tell us throughout the day, and they're like a little bit interesting and opens up a conversation that definitely should be had or needed to be had. and that it's almost always happening at night.
Yeah.
In those couple of moments before they go to bed, when it's just quiet and it's just us. So I think that's something that we really try to prioritize.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard sometimes. You get so many things on the go. You're trying to balance, schedules and lunches and getting to emails and all that stuff, that it's hard sometimes to just slow down and listen. And so, it's been really fun for me, because especially in the mornings, I'm buzzing around, and it's nice to just remind myself, look, this is the time, 3 minutes, just listen to the story, even though you've heard it already a bunch of times. You just need to do it. So it's been a fun thing for us. I mean, I hope it makes them feel special. It makes us feel special doing it for them. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like it's our little thing. So
It's such a small thing. It's like 6 minutes.
I was going to say, it's like less than 1% of our day.
Exactly.
So
It
why
feels
not?
like such a small thing, like maybe it would be insignificant, but I can tell, especially with our middle, he's got some pretty serious anxiety. And if we're not home for bedtime, you can kind of see that he's just like, but wait, who's gonna, can you leave me a sticky note? Can you come into my room when you get home? You can tell he's kind of misses that routine and that thing that makes him feel safe. So.
And I think those family traditions are so important, because they will, as they get older, hopefully they instill that with their own children, and it's definitely a positive, childhood experience for them and memory.
I hope so.
Beautiful, yes, for sure. And Scott and Jason?
Yeah, I think it'll be might be harder for Jason, because Caleb's not even
He's a
one yet.
newborn,
But
Just a baby.
there's a couple. It's funny because small things, but in my mind, it's like it is the small things, and it reminds me. It's like you get all these toys, and they come in the boxes, and they pull out the toys and they play with the boxes. Because we think it's fancy or cool or whatever, but they don't have any concept, or they could care less. So I kind of have slowly broken it down into two things. There's like time and energy. So the amount of undivided attention and time, but not to reparrot that, but I'll throw on the energy side, which is, you probably remember you had a period of time where you would come home, and that was the biggest time of your child's day, is when you walked in the door. Daddy's home, yay. And you're like, oh. And then if you talk to parents, that kind of fades over time. My kids don't care when I come home anymore. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, was that on them, or is that on me? And I'd come across this short video about this teacher who was in a really bad place and was getting ready to go into the classroom. And this teacher knew that if he brought the energy he was feeling into the classroom, the whole classroom was going to see it, feel it, and it was just going to tank. And so as a parent, what I took from that is, like, before I walk through the threshold and come into the house, well, what energy do I want to bring? So am I going to come in the house hanging my head, dragging about my long day that I've had and all the woes? Or am I going to puff up, reset myself, and come through the door like my opportunity to see them is the greatest part of my day? So if I can bring that energy, which, by the way, this is a lot easier said than done.
Of course.
Because I'll forget, I'll come in, I'm like, oh God, I walked through the wrong way. Hold on. It's like, hey, kid, so I try. So if you want to make them feel special, make them feel, like they're recognizing that they're in the room. You're going to come in and start complaining and stuff, like, just don't do that. And so those are two things, trying to give, especially because we talk about kids on phones, but we're all addicts too when it comes to the phone. And it's like, kids know. So if you're sitting there and you're on your phone and they're talking, you're like, oh yeah, you had a great day. That's fantastic. And they're like, Dad, you're not. I'm like, oh man, you're right. Okay, sorry, you got me. And so they know, they recognize. They're not stupid. They can see.
Oh yeah.
So time and energy for me.
Like he said, mine's still new. So it's me coming home, and his personality coming out is the exciting part for me. But like he said, we're together all day, every day. So I get these little things that are gems that he'll tell me that I'll take home as well. Yeah. So just coming home with a smile, or we've timed it out where his morning starts right before I leave work. So I'm able to go in and wake him up and smile with him and have a good 2-3 minutes before I do have to go to work. So those moments are precious. But I'm excited to evolve as a parent and grow to see what I can do to entertain him or keep that commitment to instill in his life as well.
Totally. It's the village.
It's the village. It really is.
Here. Yeah. Awesome. Well,
But I'll add on the community
Yeah.
part. Like, so this will be the first year, like, I want to raise a son that wants to give. And it's like, so this will be the first year. I'm going to bring him out to the Vietnam Wall washing.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to start bringing him out to these things and start trying to get the early exposure that you were talking about
Totally.
and try to instill those things as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's important.
Yeah. I mean, your kids were
That's
at your.
big for us
Yeah.
too. Yeah, it's one thing they get. I mean, now because we've had the foundation for a little while, they've heard us talk about it, and they've heard us talk about our event. And Swing Into Summer is a very fun event. They get to run around the field, and I mean, they're very lucky kids. When we take them to a hockey game, they get to sit in a suite, or they get to go and get candy. Like, they don't even really know how lucky they are, and so for us actively trying to give them an opportunity to bring them down to earth a little bit and see where they can help and who they can support and how they can use their privilege to help others, or just even recognize that they have it is a big thing for us. Like you guys are so lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you mean?
It's so hard.
Everybody's dad plays hockey. What are you talking about? Yeah, like they don't even know. They
There's
have
people
no
that
idea.
don't sit in suites.
Yeah.
We've had,
They
we've
have
had similar
no idea.
experiences.
I tell my 11-month the same thing. I was
Yeah.
like, you know how many 11 months are in first class? You better be thankful.
Yeah, exactly. They're lucky kids.
He's like,
So-
man.
They saw with his hands. I don't.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't say thank you, your dad, for his service, and I'm sure your mom for supporting him and all that.
Appreciate
so
it.
that's awesome.
He'll be at the golf tournament.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll meet him that day.
Yeah.
I usually do like a little skills challenge. So, but I know you love magic, and I was like, this is my one horse show pony trick that I do at all my fun dinners with friends.
Yes.
And it's little, but if I get your card right, I'm gonna donate $100 to Alzner Foundation.
Oh.
So we're all in this together. Okay,
Yes.
we're gonna pray that I get it right. So pick a card, any card.
All right, Panda's gonna match. It's gonna be
Oh,
200.
thank you.
There we go.
And then you can show everyone.
Okay.
Okay.
Show Michael too.
Show that
Alright.
video. Okay, put it back on top, and then I'm just going to quickly give it a cut. Do another little cut. All right, I'm gonna show everyone that this is just a normal deck of cards too. There's nothing going on here. I don't know if everyone can see over there.
Verified. Okay.
Verify, okay. And then I want you guys to go ahead and give it a shuffle so that
Okay.
I'm not hiding anything up my sleeves, I guess.
You don't even
I'm just trying to take my time. I'm
Sleeves,
sweating so
yes.
much. I'm nervous. I'm really excited. We got.
This is exciting.
Good shuffler.
That's a pretty
Yeah.
good
All right, and then one more
Play
time.
poker
We're
next.
not doing. Just showing again to the audience. Normal deck of cards. Nothing happening here. Okay, so now I'm going to have Mandy. Is there anything on you that is means a lot to you? That we are going to use the power of your ring.
Yeah, my ring.
To help
Okay.
find where the card is. I'm assuming
Okay.
Carl gave you that ring.
He did, yes.
Okay, cool.
Do you want me to take it off?
Yeah, sure, if
Okay.
you don't mind.
It's a little stuck.
Well, also thinking about the telepathy tapes, 'cause I know we're also big fans of
Yes,
that.
yes.
And just that there's power and memory and everything that's close to us. So I'm going to use
My mind's gonna be blown.
We're pulling
really
for you.
think about the card, guys,
Okay.
okay?
I'm
think
thinking about
about
a different
it.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Don't throw her off.
All right. I think that's
There's
it. I'm gonna
$200 on the
keep
line.
these cards. I'm going to let you guys, well, Carl, you can turn that one over. Thank you for seeing that
Turn
out.
this one over.
Yep. See if that's the right card.
I think that's the right one.
No way.
Is it the right one?
It was the,
All right, we're getting a donation today from us and Panda. Oh, and it was a 2 for $200. So
There you go.
Even with the shuffle.
That was really awesome.
That was two good shuffles too.
It was two good
Yeah.
shuffles.
No, I want to thank you all so much again for all you do for the community. Thank you for being on this podcast.
Yes.
Michael, do you want to say anything else?
no.